Well, as I've pondered about artistry in the Central Florida region, but really it's a universal thing as I'm dealing with my perception lately concerning the galleries and the agencies, the managers, not too different from the 90s and early 2000s where I exhibited with a group called Zuagata in Ecuador. And nothing is new under the sun. And the same principle withstands for those that have a heart matter for artistry. And I'm speaking to the upcoming artists. I'm speaking to those that are desiring to be artists themselves, even making income with your artistry or having a profession of your art making, dealing with the fine arts, particularly with painting or mixed media art. And I want to say this through my heart and of my heart and to the masses that are listening right now. When everything is done, when everything is set in stone, you could be the most prominent artist exhibiting in many galleries. And you could be the most efficient artist having a prominent makeup in your economic upbringing. And you could be not as prominent, yet being prominent within your own selves, as to have been fulfilled in loving what you do in your artistry for your own sake, for your own dealings of what you want to fulfill in your self-identity with your soul and your spiritual makeup and your bodily makeup as you manifest your artwork to yourself. And as an added blessing, you release it onto the people for those galleries that accept you, a lot of them even with ignorance in how they're receiving what you're really trying to portray. And I don't want to sound so blunt, but yet I do want to sound so blunt because art, I would want to say that art gets hurt when we don't perceive art as it, in my opinion, should be perceived as. Art is an education. Art is an illumination, a manifestation, an expression concerning how you should become and your varied or multifaceted perceptions of health, growth, and increase and excellence in artistry as it deals with the practical application of what your art expresses and your life upbringing in the different areas of your life manifestations, in your professional life, in your family life, in your spiritual life, in your casual life. Art is an emblem. It's a almost that I believe it's a divine signal concerning the present reality and the aspiration to you progress in your life in those arenas that I've just explained. And many artists, I believe, this is my own opinion now, are not satisfied even while being prominent in artistry. And we can even deal with the great painter Rothko, who committed suicide through the blue period of his painting because he was dealing with synesthesia, the understanding of colors and music and artistry, and fell into the blue period, into its negative connotation, and committed suicide. I can even deal with Rothko, who was one of the fathers of abstract expressionism, and because he had an accident and couldn't paint with his arm and with his hand after the accident, committed suicide as well. So, did his art really fulfill him in his prominence and being the forefather of the abstract expressionism in the art world at that time, and even an influence of great upbringings of the abstract expressionist of this time. If you see it in Instagram and you see it in the art of many present artists who are dealing with these gestural arts. And so, as I ponder this, I ask the question to y'all that are listening. When you do exhibit and when you win your monies or what have you, or you don't win your monies and you're still exhibiting, are you fulfilled as an artist? Are you fulfilled as an artist, whereas to say, with money or no money, I am growing in my illumination and my understanding of how the world is treating me and how I'm treating the world? Are you having a cleaner makeup? Are you having a more progressive way of dealing and a more excellent way of dealing with this life, as in your future life, as you see your artwork as a marking of how you should esteem life in your past, present, and future? And spiritually speaking, as God develops you into this artistry, that's a whole different philosophy and a whole different spirituality in itself that I'm not going to explain too detailed in this live spiel of Instagram. And I'm dealing with my face because as I'm speaking, not because I want to show myself off in my pretty little face. No, I'm sharing my face because I want you to know that I'm sincere and looking at you through the screen eye to eye and letting you know that many artists aren't fulfilled in their prominent makeup, whether they get money or not. Many artists are still dangling in the oppositions of who they are in the different areas of their life. But that artist that's mature, I believe, in my own opinion, that using even the most cheap material and creating great pieces will have the most excellent exhibit within his own house. Because he understands what it is to esteem himself. And he esteems himself to the degree that he understands the processes of life that he expresses himself in the fulfillment of the levels and lapses and levels of reality that he lives in within his present time. And beyond the exhibits and the galleries that they have to make their own monies and having the call outs to artists and having them pay $25 because they need to be healthy in their own gallery upbringing, the best exhibit is within your own house. I'm giving a sideline trail right now dealing with the heart of the matter in artistry. Because when you deal with your art, as you exhibited it in your house, you begin to see a manifestations of the reality and the fulfillments and the downfalls of your life. And it's a collective consciousness because many people are dealing with similar issues. So your fulfillment should be in that whether you get money or not, whether you exhibit or not, as is traditionally seen to exhibit, whether you have people honoring you as an artist or not, you should be honoring yourself as an artist. You should be esteeming yourself as an artist. You should understand your fulfillment as an artist and the different levels of capacity that God brings you through, the levels of excellence that God brings you up in. And me, I'm a Christocentric man, so I have a Christocentric ideal. God is the beginning and the middle and the ending of all my productions and art, regardless of how contemporary it seems or how abstract it seems. I write in one of my essays that God is the finality of the matter. Because God had predestined even your own particular expression in art. And will judge the matter whether it was meaningful or not. And that is the fulfillment of the artist, to understand his Christocentric ideal. As you see my profile, And that regardless of the art manager and the associations that you may be a partaker of, or the websites that you may delve yourself into as you deal with you wanting to identify and create the fulfillment of yourself in artistry, without God, in my case, Jesus Christ, Jehovah HaMashiach, without that firing extent, without the God, that jealous one that understands the territory of the portion that he's given you in your expression of art, without him, you are not you. And without you, you are not a true expression of your art. And if you are not a true expression of your art, it will be downgraded by God himself. Are you understanding what I'm saying? That's why I'm looking at you right now, because I want you to see my expression in my face to understand how deceived the commonality of artistry is in the galleries, in the coming student exhibitions, and the coming promotions, and the masqueradings of I'm an artist, and dressing pretty, and drinking that wine, and eating that little cheese, and acting so elegant, but not even understanding. And I kind of want to cry right now. Not even understanding who you are. Because art is not merely the naming of understanding that you're an artist. It's God understanding that he is the foremost artist that created you to be who you are. And in my time of captivity, I've understood that when I was an emerging international artist as a 24-year-old in Castleberry City Hall, who may not even remember who I am to this day, was nothing. That success was nothing, because I didn't understand God in my artistry. Are you glimpsing the gist of what I'm saying now? Are you understanding? Don't be deceived by becoming just another artist in your prominent makeup. Don't be a foolfar, like we say in captivity. Don't be a masquerading clown. To just engage in your money makeup of being a prominent artist. Understand the fulfillment that whether you're honored by man or not, you are who you are because God made you a creative being to become that artist. That's the conclusion. And with that, I leave you. Be blessed. Be highly favored. God bless y'all.